4 years ago, when it comes down to merch, you know how much merch we sold? Barely anybody bought our merch. My own family wouldn't buy the merch. We sold 1,200 units of our merch 4 years ago. You know what else we didn't have 4 years ago? We didn't even have Future Looks Bright 4 years ago. It was I'm an entrepreneur. Future Looks Bright just started 2 years ago, year and a half ago, if you think about it. This year alone, not counting the last 2 months, we've sold 72,000 units, 60x in merch. Merch alone, in our eyes, will end up being a unicorn probably in the next 3 to 5 years. We'll be selling 1 million pieces of merch here very soon because we have a specific plan and investment that we made into our merch with the plan of wanting 1 million people worldwide sporting Future Looks Bright. By the way, if some of you guys are watching right now saying, oh my God, all he's doing is selling and all this stuff. No, this was a plan. And we shared it with the world. And the right people bought. Same thing you need to be doing as well. What is your plan? Do you have it? 2028, it's going to be like this. We're going to wake up, it's 2028. I'm 46 years old right now. Just yesterday, I got out of the Army. If you told me when I got out of the Army, June of 1999, that I'm going to be 46 years old like this, I'd say you're full of it. 26 years has gone like this. I am 46, okay? It's a shocking, the fact that the next 4 years is going to go just as quick. So you can sit around and be like, well, I got to watch the game, I got to do this. But those of you that are tuned and saying, are you freaking kidding me? This is what they did last 4 years? And by the way, think about what our plans are the next 4 years. We're not going to unveil it today, but we'll share with some of the folks on a different thing that's coming up here soon. Let me continue. Tom, can you share with them what our conversation started with on why we decided to build VTnews.ai? How did this happen?
Well, it started with during an election year, we're looking around and we're wondering, wouldn't it be great if you could figure out like what direction the news is coming at you?
Yep.
You go to MSNBC in the morning and you see, Bip and Bop. We know who they are. I'm not even going to say their names, but we know what direction they're coming from. Every year they're throwing it from that side. We said, boy, wouldn't it be great if you could understand the news and see stories that were interesting to you, like I want to read about that, and understand what direction it came from, and be able to maybe select the moderate or the right and see the perspectives that were being thrown around.
Right.
We said, wait a minute, what if we got a bunch of AI engineers? What if we build that algorithm? What if we did that? What if we pulled all the news stories together and rather than just giving people yet another aggregation source, we give them aggregation with a viewpoint and an understanding of where it's coming at them? And what if we let them select their favorite topics for a subscription? And what if we let them now see their own favorite homepage with all of the things that matter to them? And what if we put an incredibly powerful AI engine? I remember you saying to me, Tom, could we have an AI engine that you could ask questions about the news and pull on the news from the news? And I said, Pat, I think we could do that. I think it's a great idea. And so how many engineers do we have working on this? We put it together and it became VTnews.ai. Where you go, you can subscribe. You have this powerful AI engine to search through the news and you can see exactly what direction it's coming from.
But this was never planned 4 years ago.
The vision was clear. 4 years ago.
This did not exist 4 years ago. We wanted this for our podcast. We built it to share it with the world, but we use this product all the time ourselves. Our crew uses this all the time. Again, but knowing the fact that we wanted to compete in the marketplace as a podcast, we said we got to put this together as well. Another one of those ideas that just came about because the vision was clear. Let me continue.
Frustration was the mother of invention.
That's right. Manychat did not exist in 2020. So when you hear us talk about, hey, Manychat me. What's Manychat? Well, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I'm talking to this lawyer, and I have a 7-minute call with him. He bills me for 15 minutes or whatever that he billed me for. I call him. I said, why are you billing me for this much? We only had a 7-minute call. I have the proof on my phone here. He says, Pat, I'm a lawyer. I said, it doesn't roll up this much. I said, what do you charge by the minute? He says, we don't charge by the minute. It's by minutes roll up. I said, I want to be able to pay you by the minute. He says, nothing like that exists. I said, what if an app like that existed where we can pay people by the minute, no matter what their background is? I come to you, we had a conversation. At the time, we're going through building PHP and Bamboo. We're like, we don't have the time to build it right now. 3 years later, we introduce Manychat, where you can literally ask me a question. I can respond back in audio, video. We can have a 15-minute call together. Here's what happened to it. 2021, there was only 28 completed Manychats. That people paid for it and somebody responded. 2022, 551, 2023, 2593, 2024. Year to date, this is as of November 1st, 36,968 questions have been asked here. Why is this doing it this way? Because 4 years ago, we had a plan. And so the response rate is higher. People get to ask questions. I'm paying you. You have to answer me because I'm paying you, respecting your time. We're on LinkedIn. I'm sending all these messages. Nobody does. Again, this was part of the plan on Minute. You can literally right now ask me or Tom any question. We will respond back to you in audio. That's the app that did not exist 5 years ago. It wasn't even something that we were actively driving in 2020. And right now, it's growing exponentially for us. Let me continue. PBD Consulting didn't even exist 4 years ago. There was no PBD Consulting in 2020. Now we got 55 full-time employees within PBD Consulting that we sit down with clients and we do engagements, 10,000 clients nearly from 60-plus countries that we do engagements with. And we have our flywheel, what we do for them. Vol Conference 2020. 2019, we did our first. 420 people showed up. 2020, COVID happened. We had to cancel it. It was virtual. 2021, 780 people showed up. 2022, 1,200. 2023, 2,424. This year, 5,000 plus people in attendance at Palm Beach Convention Center. It was the most intense place for 4 days. We spent time together, but this was part of the plan 4 years ago. This is not including recordings and all this other stuff. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was with us at this event. Last year, Tom Brady was with us. Vol Conference, this is 2019, okay? 400 people, that's in Dallas. This is Zoom. Nobody was there with us because it was COVID. It was shut down. 2021, that's us in Diplomat. 2022, 2023, and then this is 2024. If you were in there, you know how that event was like. It was something else. Let me continue. Books, again, first was Your Next 5 Moves. Then it was Choose Your Enemies Wisely. Then it was the fiction book. Every one of these came out intentionally timed because of the plan, okay? Let me go to the next one. When you look at this flywheel is all the businesses that feed each other. We didn't have this 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I'm building an insurance company. I'm not even thinking about this 4 years ago. But after election night and Biden winning, I sat there and I said, we got to put a big plan together. And the rest is history. Everything gradually came about together. We knew where we wanted to be in 2024. We went and said, we got to bring this person, we got to invest into this, we got to move over here, we got to do all this stuff. And throughout the process, new ideas came about as well. And obviously, the business grew. Today, I'm sitting with my guy from Goldman Sachs. I said, what do you think this whole line holding company is worth right now? And he gave me a number. I'm like, very interesting. If I told you what's going on over here behind closed doors, most people wouldn't believe it. But we knew we wanted to build this 4 years ago. This whole thing I'm sharing with you is what you're going to be doing between now and the next 4 years. It's got nothing to do with what we're doing. Now, few things that is important. 4 years ago, we're sitting there, and I made a list. When we do our business plan, there's a certain 12 building blocks I follow with our business plan that we do. One of the key things that we write down is, who do we want to build alliances with? And we wrote down a list of names, okay? 4 years ago, I had never met Dana White. That relationship was built. 4 years ago, I had never met Dwayne Johnson. That relationship had been built. 4 years ago, President Trump and I had never done anything. President Trump came and he sat in this chair right here when we did the interview a month ago, whatever the timeline was, with 40 Secret Service people here, 2 helicopters, ambulance, fire trucks. My own wife and my kids couldn't come. And they said, hey, we know who you are, but President's in here. You got to wait a few minutes. Please park across the street. But 4 years ago, it was on the list of people that we want to build alliances with. One of the most important things that has to be in your business plan was alliances. When I met Tom the first time, in 2007, 2008, we've known each other now nearly 20 years. My pastor said, I got to introduce you to the smartest guy in the church. I meet him. Another guy in the church says, you know how much that guy gave to the church? We were at this one thing that they were raising the top 25 donors, whatever it was. He says, that guy standing over there gave $660 last year to the church. I said, what's the big deal about giving $660 to the church? He said, add 3 zeros to it. I said, he gave $660,000 last year? That's that guy. He never told me this. Another guy that was there told me this. I'm like, wow, that's that guy? Yes. We had lunch, walked away. Then our wives, who were part of the same Bible study together at the time, says, we got to introduce the husbands. We don't know who they're talking about. We meet again. I said, wow, very interesting. Tom and I become very close friends. We travel. I don't know how many places do we travel to together.
I think we've added up that there was like 52 places in 4 years and countless. And, you know, early stage, we were sharing the hotel and it was just amazing. But conversations till like midnight, 1 a.m. all the time.
Big thinking. By the way, let me tell you how weird Tom is, just so you guys know this, to tell you how special of a guy this is. We're in Arizona. We're at this Inc. 5000 conference. We had an incredible time. we're playing poker. It's where we meet Mayor Masso. Why we ended up moving to Texas, one of the reasons was because he was recruiting us to Frisco. But that night, everything is over. We go to the bar to sit down. I don't know what bar we went to. I see Tom over there, and I see a girl approaching me at the bar. I'm like, why is this girl got a smirk on her face and walking up to me at 1 o'clock in the morning? She walks up to me, very attractive. We start talking. She says, is that your friend? I said, yeah. Says, is there any reason why you know your friend and my husband are hugging each other and crying? I said, what the hell is going on over here? That's your husband? Yeah. By the way, tall, good-looking, athlete type of guy. I said, listen, I don't have a clue what's going on over there. And then we see both of them walk into us with their arms next to each other. Literally, I'm telling you this. What time? At 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm assuming this is. And then they come. They're still crying. They don't even see us as if we don't exist. I said, hey, guys, is you guys good? He says, yeah, very good. I said, what just happened right now? He says, Tom just shared his testimony with me, and he shared the gospel with me, and I just gave my life to Christ. I said, at 1 o'clock in the morning at a bar? Yeah, but if you only knew my story. This guy was a former Major League Baseball player. That is Tom, by the way. But the point is, when I met Tom and all these traveling that we did, Tom didn't know this. I knew this. And it happened 3 years before even this took place. I said, I got to recruit Tom to come and be one of my executives in the company. I knew that. He didn't know that. One, I couldn't afford him 3 years prior to that because it was 2011. But I knew I could eventually afford him. And when we sat down, the interview was done in a H1 yellow Hummer.
Outside of a small sushi place in Granada Hills, California.
Like, should I share with them how this whole thing came about? So we're sitting there talking, and I'm like, Tom, and I don't know if I can afford you. What is the salary? Tom gives me the number. I'm like, dude,
we're 12 feet away from each other because the Hummer is the size of an apartment.
He says, listen, but that's me. I mean, that's what I got to do if you want me to come. He had just sold one of his businesses. He was a free agent for the first time in a long time. I said, yes. And I'm like, Tom, I know you don't see how much money we can make in insurance. I said, would you be okay if I log into my Chase account so you can see how much money we made last month? You can go through some. He says, yeah, sure, go ahead and do that. I log into Chase. I hand him the phone. He sees the deposits for the last 30 days. He says, you know, honestly, I think my salary needs to be a little bit higher. We had a funny moment together, but Tom came in. That's 2011 when I knew I wanted to recruit him, but it took me 3 years until I recruited him. He came, became the president of my insurance company, raised the first $1 million, raised the second $10 million, and then without him, we don't sell the business. He was a very important alliance I wanted to recruit. Who's on your list of people that you want to recruit? I have certain names I want to build the next 4 years. Who's yours? Number one is alliance. Number two is enable. I looked on ways on how I can enable myself and others, okay, to take the business to the next level. Very important. I did not want to have any associations that couldn't help us with this. Who can enable us? What relationship can enable us to go to the next level? I learned in life, you're one relationship away from your life changing. One great relationship in your life that believes in you and you're loyal to them, your life could change. One, that's all it takes. One relationship. Dana White, nobody want to let him, UFC, go anywhere and fight. Dana White goes and calls Trump. Trump says, come and do your fights over here. He does. Look at their relationship together. Take Trump out of that relationship. Where's UFC today? We don't know. One relationship. Think about one relationship. What did to them? That one relationship could be Dana to Connor, Dana to others. Who's that person that can enable you, that relationship, again, that you want to pursue? Number three, sequencing. Sequencing is steps to go through the process. What do I do first? Then what do I do next? I knew I wanted to have Tom come on board. I knew I wanted certain alliances that I wanted to build. By the way, 2024 election, what did Trump do? He built a relationship with Tucker that he had. Tucker goes with Elon on X. We made a $100 million offer to Tucker. He said no to us. He goes to Elon. Tucker, Elon, and Trump build an alliance. Vivek gets in there. Tulsi gets in there. RF Kennedy gets in there. Look what happened election night. These are all alliances that took place. Same way they built it, you got to do it as well. So sequencing is something, Tom, we talk a lot about.
Exactly. And making sure that there are true believers walking along with you in that sequencing. You get the sequencing right with the people that are true believers in your vision, and now you're going to get the momentum and you're going to be driving.
So for you, if you're sitting there, think about if you're playing Monopoly, the game, okay? What do you want to buy first? You know how some people play and they don't buy anything? They're just trying to go past go so they get cash? It's that the right sequencing? You know, some people, if you buy Vermont for $100, I'll come in and my dice. I'm like, hey, you bought that for $100? Will you sell it for 200? Yeah. Boom. Now I roll the dice and I land on the other one. Now I got 2 blues in one turn. Sequencing. This is all sequencing. Hey, I'm going to have all the, I'm going to hold this green North Carolina because I'm going to negotiate and trade it with you for Marvin because I'm going to have all the yellow on that corner because it's $150 per house and it's more rent than the one on the Kentucky and Illinois. That's what everything is sequencing. Just like it is in a video game in Monopoly, it is for the next 4 years as well. So next, urgency, moving with urgency. We're doing this business planning no matter what webinar. What is today's date? The 19th. By the way, who the hell is talking about business planning right now? Most people are not even thinking about business planning until December 29th, 30th. And December 31st, they make some New Year resolution. Some people wake up on the first and they do it. You're on this webinar? How many people are on the webinar, right? I'm willing to bet out of everybody that signed up, probably only 20% of them are on. How come the other guys didn't get on? That they're not thinking about this. I still got a lot of time till 2025. Urgency. Most people lack the urgency of coming out. Self-aware, knowing what you're good at and what you're not good at. I'm interviewing a guy today. He asked me a very interesting question. Says, what are your biggest challenges of building a company when you go through? I said, I got a left brain side and I got a right brain side. I love math, but I'm also creative. But I'm self-aware of what areas I do well and what areas I need to rely on my executive team to get it done. For you, self-aware of yourself, is it procrastination? Is it distraction? Is it the fact that you get stuck on the phone going through stories and you're stuck for 45 minutes to an hour? Is it laziness? Is it sleeping in? Is it smoking weed? Is it doing too much drugs? Is it you drink a lot? Is it you got a gambling habit nobody knows about? Is it you're too sensitive? If somebody rejects you once, you're like, oh my God, that's not fair. Is that what it is? What is it? You know it though. I know me. And I've known me over the years and I've had to address it every single time. Even me right now for the next 4 years, I'm self-aware of what I need the next 4 years. You ought to be as well. That's a big part of it as you're going through it. Tom taught me one of the biggest lessons in life. I couldn't believe when he taught me this. He was 52. He told me, Pat, it took me 52 years to realize I make more money where I'm the number 2 in a company than number 1. I said, what? Who says something like that? He says, I'm a better entrepreneur. If there's a vision that I'm going, I'm going to be able to execute that and be a better COO helping that company than the CEO will be. Think about being aware of that and then coming in. Every business we build, Tom's been a part of it. It doesn't happen without Tom. That's because he's self-aware. Next, ultra proactive. Don't wait another day or a week or whatever. I'm making a decision today. I'm taking action today. They're waiting. I'm doing it right now. I got to go figure this thing out. Go today and do it. Don't wait till tomorrow. I used to always tell my guys, the now mentality, not the tomorrow mentality. Use the word tomorrow less times moving forward. Babe, we'll do it tomorrow. Guys, let's follow up tomorrow. No, replace tomorrow. If you use tomorrow, the word, 1,000 times this year, next year, minimize it to 500. If you use tomorrow, be selective. Use now. I'm not waiting. Let's address it now. Can we figure it out now? We just hired a new CTO that's with us. One other thing I love about this guy, you know who I'm talking about. Tom, how is you when something that needs to happen and somebody says, well, we can get this done by Monday. We can get it done by tomorrow. What does he do?
When it's really, really urgent, he is as steady as when he's just sitting there planning with a blank sheet of paper. And he drives the people effectively, and it gets done.
Yeah, and it's now, we'll do it right now. It's not a big deal. We'll take the next 2 hours and get it done. Now, guys, we got it. Give us a couple hours. We'll get back to you. The now mentality, right? If you got big plans in 2025, where you want to be in 2028, it's the now mentality.